Welcome to Grading 102. We'll discuss today color on copper coins, and this is brought to you by the Professional Coin Grading Service. For some coins, a numerical grade alone is just not enough. Collector preferences and market value demand the use of designations. So what are designations? They are a rating added after the numerical grade to describe a particular attribute of a series which has importance and value to most collectors. The value part is particularly important because without a difference in value, there really would be no viable reason to have these designations. They fall into three main categories. We recognize color, strike, and surface reflectivity or contrast. We'll obviously be going into each of these in more detail, but today we're going to discuss color. On mint state and proof copper coins, that would include half cents, large cents, small cents, and 2-cent pieces, and some patterns, one of three color ratings is assigned by PCGS. Either red and brown, or brown. Obviously, color on copper is an unbroken continuum, so the three designations represent really ranges of remaining original red color. So we'll start with red. A full red copper coin needs to display 95% or more of its original color. And we'll start by looking at some examples. This is an extremely rare one, a drape bust large cent. Virtually none of these are left full red. This may be one of only a tiny handful, probably fewer than a dozen coins would still qualify as full red of this type. Say cornet cent. These are not nearly as rare due to a hoard that was accumulated sometime in the 1820s and came to light, I believe, in the 1850s or 1860s. So there's quite a few of these still around. The braided hair type, again, scarce but not extremely rare. You can see, again, more than 95% of the original color is showing on this one. Indian cent. A Lincoln cent. This was a hoarded coin. The 1909 VDB was saved in great quantities in mint state. So as a consequence today, without the S, it is not a particularly rare coin in red mint state. And an 1864 2-cent piece. Now we'll move on to red and brown, and we'll look at red and brown in three different areas. It encompasses a very wide range of colors, anywhere between 5 and 95% of the original red. So with a range this large, we're going to break it into three groups. We'll first look at some that are at the high end, in other words, the ones that are mostly red that just missed getting full red. This one for a cap cent is an extremely red one. It's probably only about 75% red, but it's about as nice as these come. It's a drape bust cent. You can just see there's just enough brown to take it under the 95%. Cornet cent, you see the brown areas on the reverse. Braided hair cent, just toning down, about 80% red or so. Indian cent, turning brown on the high points. Lincoln cent, a little bit of brown in the fields. And a 2-cent piece. Note the brown in the center of the reverse. Our next group of red and browns will be the mid-range of red and brown. These are 25 to 75% red, so they're roughly, averaging going to be about 50%. You can see this Liberty cap cent here has about half of its surface is now brown. It's a drape bust cent. Cornet cent, roughly maybe 60% still red here on this one. Braided hair cent, about 50%. Indian cent turning brown here. And a Lincoln cent, and the 2-cent piece. Note on some of these copper coins, the brown sort of takes on a little bit of a purple hue to it. That's perfectly normal. Toning comes in various colors, and to see a little bit of a bluish purple on this type of copper coin is not all that uncommon. Next, we'll look at the red and browns that are at the low end of the red and brown scale, the coins that are virtually all brown. There's a Liberty cap cent. Again, you can see some red around the devices and a little bit in the center. Drape bust cent here. You'll note that the remaining red usually hides in the recessed areas or the protected areas of the coin, around the ribbon, inside the numerals of the date or just clinging to the outline profile of the bust. This is where you're most likely to find remaining red coins. Here's a mostly brown coin. Here's a braided hair cent. Again, note the red is clinging to the stars in particular, a little bit surrounding the head of Liberty, and within some of the lettering on the reverse, you'll still see the red. Most of the exposed broad areas of the surface have turned brown. An Indian cent here, mostly brown, again having a little bit of that violet toning hue to it. And a Lincoln cent. And finally a 2-cent piece. Again, note the areas of red around the date, a little bit around the rims, but this coin is mostly brown. Finally, we'll look at the fully brown coins. These coins have 5% or less of original mint red. If you look carefully at these, you'll see a little bit of red around the lettering of states on the back. Right around there, there's a trace of red still left, but certainly less than 5%. It's a drape bust cent, pretty evenly brown. Cornet cent, beautiful sharp strike on this coin, but just not much, there's no mint red left. And an braided cent. It's an Indian cent. If you look carefully, you can see a little trace of red around a few areas of the wreath, but probably certainly less than 1 or 2%. A nice brown Lincoln cent. And finally a 2-cent piece, and once again, if you look inside the numeral 2 or around the right rim, you'll see traces of red. So we hope this has given you an idea of some of the color designations for copper coins, and we look to see you next time for our discussion of strike.